Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name. When you ask,
this is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
New Chevy trucks and SUVs are arriving almost daily at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet. It's our best selection in years. Buy a new 2024 all-wheel drive Blazer and save up to $2,000 off MSRP. A new 24 all-wheel drive Equinox is $1,500 off MSRP. Or take advantage of financing as low as 1.9% APR and no payments for 90 days on either. See us at Denny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet or DennyManholtRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. New Chevy trucks and...
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
Family is the fabric of who we are. The generations that came before us and the ones that will carry on after. At Monument Health, we're dedicated to these communities because they're our communities. We're committed to building the healthcare system of tomorrow with medical knowledge and expertise you can trust, close to home. Here to care, here to connect, here for you, today and tomorrow. Monument Health.
Alternative Fuel Coffee House, located in downtown Rapid City, has been a staple since 2006, offering an espresso bar, smoothie bar, and more. If food is what you're looking for, check out their menu. Using local ingredients for their drinks and recipes is their way of showing how important shopping local is. Come in and visit them during skating and patio season for the best coffee experience in town. Who's filling up your cup? Alternative Fuel Coffee House. Looking to spruce things up for dinner tonight? Order online or buy the Inferno's Food by Fire app for your best meal in Rapid City. Inferno's has the best Stonefire signature pizzas, sandwiches, and fresh salads. Build your own pizza all while watching the latest high school or NFL action. Even better, receive a 10% discount off your next order when you mention Live Ticket. That's at Inferno's Food by Fire.
Make winter driving a bit easier in a pre-owned SUV from Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Choose from late model local trades, Fords, GMCs, Toyotas, Nissans, Jeeps, Subarus, Chevys, and more. Plus, we have the area's best selection of pre-owned Honda and Honda certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs. To make it easier on your bank account, Buy with no money down and make no payments for 90 days. The used sport utilities you want are here at Denny Menho, Rushmore Honda, or RushmoreHonda.com. Make winter driving
your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Looking for top-notch printing services? Choose Preferred Printing, your South Dakota Union printer. We provide mailing services, create banners, vehicle decals, stationery and business forms, event materials including specialty items, apparel, and more. Our skilled team brings your vision to life with exceptional quality and attention to detail. And as a locally veteran-owned shop, we're dedicated to serving our community. Experience the difference with Preferred Printing. Visit us at preferredsd.com or call 605-333-0535 today. Looking for top-notch printing services? Choose Preferred.
Sear Black Hill Steakhouse is a proud supporter of local youth sports. They invite you to experience the difference at the area's newest locally owned steakhouse. From their local and regional sourced ingredients to their perfectly seared steaks, you're sure to enjoy. They look forward to seeing you. Sear Black Hill Steakhouse is a proud supporter of all local youth sports. Sear Black Hill Steakhouse, experience the difference.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset. At Dakota Discount RV, our mission...
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live. Whether you're pregnant...
If it's time for a new roof, maybe it's time we talk. Hi, I'm Scott Dorcas with Premier Systems Roofing. We offer free inspections and estimates, full labor and manufacturer warranties, and we are a preferred contractor for insurance companies. We've been a South Dakota company since 2002, serving the entire state, and we are proud to sponsor South Dakota sports and activities. Premier Systems Roofing, on time, on budget, and on call 24/7.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
And good evening and welcome back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium in Rapid City. It's game 2 of our doubleheader as the Rapid City Stevens Raiders get ready to take on the O'Gorman Knights in boys basketball right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Welcome to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J take the stress away and get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. You know, we have a good matchup tonight between these two teams that on paper this looks like a pretty good matchup. Rapid City Stevens is 9-4 this season. Perfect here at home with a 5-0 record, while Old Gorman is 8-5 on the season and 4-3 on the road. Currently, the Raiders are number 7 in the Class AA boys standings, while Old Gorman is in the 5th place. And so this game really, Dean, it means a lot as they enter this final month of the season.
Yeah, it does really. We talked about the February stretch, the February run. The gentlemen Raiders trying to solidify at least a home playoff game for that Sodak 16, and so it's going to start right here. It's East Coast matchup. Always a tough matchup. You got to be able to play against these teams. You can't just beat up on teams around you. You got to take care of business. You got to take care of that business, but you also have to be able to, beat the competition across the state. I know Coach Stabner the other day when I talked to him, he said, "You know what? We're not right now. We are not as good as the top 3 or 4 teams in the state. So we got to be able to step up and start beating teams that are not quite at that caliber in order to get us to that level." This is one of those teams. Are they 5th ranked, I believe?
Number 5.
Number 5 ranked. They got to come in. They've got to be able to beat a team like this. Yeah, I think they're fairly evenly matched up tonight. I think maybe it might even be a bonus. I know Coach Roby said he's not sure if Austin Trevine is going to be able to play or start tonight. I haven't seen that out there yet, but he's their leading scorer with 15 points. So if he's not in the game, that's going to have a big impact for the O'Gorman Knights. They're talented. They move the ball well. They shoot the ball fairly well. Maybe not quite as many points as kind of they're hoping for, only 55 a game, but they definitely play hard, and you got to be able to match what they got. They have to the Raiders have to bring up the intensity from the game that they played last week against the Cobblers.
Again, the Raiders coming in 9-4 on the season. The O'Gorman Knights are 8-5 on the season. We are just about a minute away from the starting lineups here tonight. So let's take a quick look at our keys to the game being brought to us by Dakota Discount RV. You can find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Just take a look at their great selection of RVs at 2 locations. Dakota Discount RV across from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. Dean, the Raiders have won 4 in a row. What will it take tonight to win number 5?
Well, tonight it's going to come down to just fundamentals. We'll talk about the visitors, the Bishop O'Gorman Knights. They got to be able to play tough defense. The Raiders are athletic. They can shoot the ball. They can do lots of things. I know their offense, I don't think they're still living up to potential as far as offensively, but they have that there. So the Knights have to be able to kind of keep them down. They got to rebound the basketball and take care of the basketball. Just absolute fundamental tonight. Same thing for the Raiders. They got to be able to find more of an offense. They actually have to play with more intensity than they had. I just said that just a few minutes ago. I'm going to say it again because it's huge. That intensity has to amp up a level from last week when they're coming in. They have to play defensively. The O'Gorman Knights can go off in a second, so they have to be able to keep them from taking off on a run early on. And again, play fundamental. It's rebounding the basketball. It is taking care of it, keeping those turnovers down. All those simple factors are going to go into tonight.
And that's our keys to the game being brought to us by Dakota Discount RV. And you can find Dakota Discount RV at 2 locations across from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. Real quickly, before we get to the starting lineup, Steen, the Knights have beaten the Raiders the previous 2 seasons. But do you think that maybe coming into this season, these 2 teams are a little more evenly matched?
Yeah, definitely. The Raiders are a little bit better than they were last year, and I don't think the Knights are as good as they were last year. So, every year things kind of shift a little bit here and there. In some years, you just lose tons of players for whatever reason, and you just kind of drop. The Raiders did that about 3 or 4 years ago. They had a huge talent pool, and they kind of dropped down. Now they're kind of recovering and getting better and using the talent they have. And, right now the O'Gorman Knights are kind of right in there. They got a great football team. Rylan Satter will be out there playing tough, as well as their quarterback, Hayden Gross. A couple of great football players, physical specimens out there playing ball. Can they use the football athleticism and translate it onto the basketball court.
We will definitely see that. Let's take a look at our starting lineups. Today's starting lineups are built by Connect Home Center, whether it's residential or commercial. Connect Home Center is your one-stop shop for all of your building and hardware needs. Connect Home Center, your hometown lumber yard since 1928. And taking a look at the starting lineups here tonight. First for the visiting O'Gorman Knights. They'll go with number 3, Ryland Satter, a 6'1 senior center/forward. Number 4, Hayden Gross, a 6'2 senior guard. Number 22, Henry Theobald, a 6' senior guard. Number 23, Caleb Turbine, a 6'2 junior guard. And number 35, Nyan Dutt, a 6'3 junior guard. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Nyan Dutt. So that's your starting lineup for the Knights. Head coach, their longtime coach, who came over from Aberdeen Central many years ago, head coach Derek Roby for the O'Gorman Knights.
Look at you.
And now for
knows where people are coming from.
Now for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, their starting lineup looks like this. Number 2, Minka Holly, a 6'4 junior guard. Number 10, Tyler Portlock, who's been getting the start for about the last, I think, 4 games now that he's been getting the starting nod. Tyler is a 6'2 junior guard. Number 11, Daylor Segrist, a 6'2 junior guard. Number 20, Caleb Brooks, a 6'2 junior forward. And number 50, Shunzi Whitewoman, a 6'4 senior forward. Head coach for the Raiders is Chris Stabner.
You know, with Austin Trevine being out, that's going to change at least the complexity of the O'Gorman Knights offense as far as, you know, how matchups go and what have you. Nyan Dutt averages 9.3 points per game. Their big rebounder, Ryland Satter, 5.7 points per game. So they got to be able to put a body on the right people at the right place at the right time. And they really have to. The matchups are going to be quite interesting. You know, who's going to guard Shunzi? Who does Minka Holly guard? I love his defense. He's obviously a big scoring machine for the Raiders as well. So the talent is out there. Can they translate it into points and into a win?
Let's meet our officials for this ball game. The law on the court is brought to us by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. Today's officials, Nick Gottlieb, Mike Kirkeby, and Royce Wurtzer.
Wow, pulling Kirkeby out of retirement, so to speak. He didn't retire, he's just a little temporary.
And here's the tip. It's controlled by the Raiders, going from left to right in their white uniforms with the blue numbers. The O'Gorman Knights in their blue uniforms with the white numbers. Here's Taylor Segrist, the basketball. Segrist gets the ball to Holly. He'll dribble around the perimeter, get to the top of the key, now crossover dribble, bounce pass to Shunzi. Shunzi turns, faces the basket, now spins. Backdoor pass to Segrist. He pump fakes and puts it in for 2.
Boy, they just lost Segrist. He got up underneath, and I thought Shunzi might do a spin move, but instead he found Segrist underneath.
Back the other way. Here's Dutt, the basketball. The ball is going to be, it's loose. It goes out of bounds, and the Raiders will get it.
Yeah, and I think that was Minka Holly who actually got a hand in his. Dutt just squared up for an 8-footer right there, and Holly's like, oh, I'm right there.
In the last 2 seasons, it's been the O'Gorman Knights that have had the Raiders' number. The Raiders trying to keep their win streak alive here at home. Here's Segrist for 3, and it's nothing but net for Taylor Segrist.
Boy, the Raiders need someone to just jump out and take control. We've seen Segrist do it in the past. Can he do it tonight?
Theobald gets it to Dutt. Now driving in the lane, putting up the shot is going to be Turbine, and he puts it in for 2. That's Caleb Turbine. At the other end, Minka Holly along the right baseline. The ball is loose. Portlock comes away with it. They go to Segrist, now to Brooks. Brooks, cross-court pass, but it's going to be stolen by Turbine.
Well, they switched to a zone defense. I don't think the Raiders adjusted well to it.
Turbine left side over to Gross. Gross gives it over to Theobald. He'll shoot the 3. That's no good. Trying to save it was Portlock, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay Knights basketball. Knights have a 2-game win streak coming into this ball game. They're 8-5 on the season, while the Raiders have a 4-game win streak, and they are 9-4 on the season. Nyan Dutt will trigger it in from the right corner. as the Knights go from right to left. They get the ball into Terveen, now top of the key to Gross. They'll work it around the perimeter, back to Dutt. He'll shoot the three, and it's good for Nyan Dutt from the top of the key.
Boy.
And just like that, we're tied at 5.
Yeah, that was nice, smooth shot by Nyan Dutt. And I think Kalen Brooks is guarding Dutt.
Mm-hmm. Again, trying to work it inside, but a steal by Ryland Satter. Satter pushes the ball to Theobald in the front court. Now they go to Terveen. Working it around Terveen, over to Gross. Now left corner, Dutt drives in the paint. Spins back to his left and puts it in for 2. Very athletic move there for Nyan Dutt.
You know, and I think Brooks is still trying to figure him out. It's like, okay, wait a minute.
Holly looking inside. Instead, he'll go to Portlock. Portlock the basketball to Segrist. Down low to Shunzi in the low post, being guarded by Satter. There's the pass to Brooks. Brooks underneath the basket, puts up the shot. It's blocked. The ball is loose, goes out of bounds. It'll stay Raider basketball.
Yeah, that was Dutt from the backside. He's kind of a one-man wrecking crew right now. He's throwing the points in. He's playing defense.
Segrist will trigger it in. Gets the ball in. It's going to go to Shunzi, White Woman. Now back to Segrist, and he'll knock down another 3 from the corner.
How about Segrist? He's like, I'm taking this team over right now.
All of the Raiders' points through the first 3 minutes. At the other end, there's Gross for 3, and he's going to knock it down.
The Knights, like, no problem. I'm going to match you for it.
10-8, a 2-point lead for O'Gorman with 4:56 to play. Here's Brooks, feeds Shunzi. Shunzi drives, puts up the shot, no good, but we'll get a whistle against the O'Gorman Knights, and the Shunzi White Woman goes to the free throw line.
Kind of his specialty right there, short corner, found the area. He was double, triple teamed right there, got in the middle, and was able to get to the free throw line. Coach Stabner's talking to Segrist right now about, I don't know what. I don't know if he's just trying to keep him humble or
I think that's Portlock.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Portlock. Segrist's back behind him, my bad.
Shunzi misses the first, but he makes the second. It's a 1-point O'Gorman lead, 10-9, with 4:48 to go here in the first quarter on the State Farm scoreboard. Terveen will shoot a 3 from the top of the key. That's off the right side of the iron, no good. Segrist gets the rebound, pushes the ball to Holly in the front court. Down low to Shunzi, White Woman, but he can't hold on to it, and it goes off his fingertips.
Yeah, it was just a great feed down low, and Shunzi is like, oh, man, golden opportunity, just squandered it. I kind of thought Holly was going to take it in.
Seen real quickly a girls' basketball final. It was Brandon Valley 51, Rapid City Central 42 tonight. So a 9-point win for the Lynx. Driving hard to the basket is Hayden Gross. He gets his 5th point, and it's a 3-point O'Gorman lead, 12-9 on the State Farm scoreboard. Midway through this first quarter, here's Caleb Brooks to Segrist in the right corner. They go down low to Holly. Holly spins, puts up the shot. He gets fouled.
Yeah, that was going to be on Gross. The secondary defender, Holly, did a great head fake, had the primary defender in the air, and Gross saw that, and he rolled off of his man. But unfortunately, he was on the backside of Holly and got the foul.
Number 1 on Hayden Gross, second team foul. Minka Holly at the free throw line. Gets the first to cut the lead to 2. Some substitutions. Number 30, we have Tayton Mooney who checks in. Or Mooney. I think they said Mooney. So Tayton Mooney, as well as number 13, Jackson Bjorkman.
And Holly gets the friendly roll off the front of the iron, and it's a 1-point game.
12-11, O'Gorman by 1, 3:57 to go in the low post. The shot is blocked by White Woman. It goes out of bounds, and the Raiders will have it as Satter gets blocked by Shunzi White Woman.
Yeah, he got a great hand. He just stood there, basically stuck his hand out, blocked him, and knocked it right off of Satter out of bounds.
Here's Tyler Portlock in the front court. Dribbles to the right side in front of the O'Gorman bench. Hands the ball to Segrist, down low to White Woman. White Woman backs his way in and banks it in for 2. And the Raiders have the lead for the... Actually, I think they've already had the lead, and Holly gets the steal and the dunk.
And the crowd is going nuts right now. Obviously, Minka Holly, love his hands, love his steal, love the finish.
15-12, the Raiders by 3.
That's a travel right there. Got away with it. Bjorkman the basketball. They kick it outside, and they travel on number 30, Peyton Mooney. And he's looking around like, what did I do? I don't know. I know it was a travel earlier that he got away with, so it's just kind of like evens it out. So the crowd fired up here tonight. Again, a good crowd. Especially the student section, always, on their feet. Here's Portlock. Gets the ball to Holly. Holly, the backdoor pass to Brooks, and Brooks gets the layup for two. That was a great look. I thought Holly was going to shoot it. I was already looking at the basket. 17-12, a 5-point Raider lead. Here's Hayden Gross into the left corner. The shot is up by Statter. That's no good. The ball is tipped around. Portlock comes away with it. Portlock to Segrist. Segrist to Holly in the front court. The three is in and out, no good for Holly.
That place would have erupted if that ball would have dropped.
Mooney back the other way in the paint. Seemed to be out of control, but they're going to whistle the Raiders for the foul.
Yeah, he kind of was all over the place there.
That will be on Tyler Portlock, his first team foul against the Raiders. But it's crazy how, the Raiders down early, but then they just go on this run and now have a 5-point lead.
Yeah, it was a feed down to Shunzi and then the steal by Holly and the dunk, and the place just went wild.
Thomas Mardian checks in, the 6'5" senior. And there's a block by the Raiders.
That was Holly again.
Bjorkman gets the ball, feeds it to Terveen, and now they throw the ball out to Mooney. Mooney, top of the key, over to Bjorkman. Back out front, Terveen's out about a three, instead gets in the paint. The jumper in the lane, no good. Portlock, or Segrist, rather, the rebound. He'll work his way into the front court, decide to drive. Baseline jumper is good for Segrist. That's 10 points in the quarter for Taylor Segrist. And it's a 7-point Raider lead. Here's Dutt. He drives in, blocked by Holly. Holly to J.D. Green. And almost an alley-oop pass there for a dunk, but it's missed by Holly.
Did they do that last game or the game before? I remember that.
And that quiets the crowd at the other end as Terveen knocks down the three. 19-15. The Raiders had a chance in transition. Again, J.D. Green in the ball game as well. Green to Segrist. Segrist double team, cross-court pass. They go to Green. Back to Segrist. Segrist wide open for three. That one is no good. Brooks hits the deck hard as he catches the ball, got the rebound, but then hits the deck, and he is fouled.
He was literally vertical, heading up there, and a little shove. They caught it right away with the shove, but still, he was going after it with unabandonment.
Segrist is going to get a break. Ashton Paulson, the sophomore, 5'11" sophomore, checks in. That last foul was on Bjorkman. That's his first. Here's Holly now to Brooks. He's going to shoot the three. That one off the mark. Mardian taps it out, but it's into the hands of Dutt. Dutt on the far side gets into the front court.
We're going the other way.
And we're going to get a charging foul on Nyan Dutt.
Yeah, he runs Caleb Brooks over with as he's trying to dish the ball, just using his body, and didn't hold himself up.
That'll be number one on Nyan Dutt. Fourth team foul against the Knights this quarter. J.D. Green, 6-foot junior, walks his way into the front court for the Raiders. With 52 seconds remaining, they lead 19-15. Ball almost stolen. Here's Paulson, top of the key. Paulson back to Green. Green at midcourt. Gives the ball to Brooks. Brooks trying to dish off to Paulson, but it's miscommunication, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be O'Gorman basketball. Coach Dave over there talking to of his coaching staff or his team over there. It's like, into the front court, it will be Mooney. Peyton Mooney, right side to Dutt. Dutt looking inside from the wing, gets the ball out to John Lint. Now they work it around. This is back to Terveen. He'll shoot the three. That one no good. Lint grabs the rebound, feeds it to Bjorkman. Bjorkman lost the ball, got it back. Passes out front. The shot clock is off. We're down to 12 seconds. In the left corner, Dutt's going to shoot the three, and it's good for Nyan Dutt.
Oh, just as smooth
Still 8 points in the ball game for Dutt. Here's Paulson, and he is fouled on a three-point attempt with 0.3 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Caden Mooney looking at it almost like he couldn't believe he did that. Like, how'd you call that on me? I'm like, dude, you hammered him, man.
He did. He altered that shot. You could tell that's going to be number 1 on Tatum Mooney. 15 fouls. Shooting 3 is Ashton Paulson. Paulson makes the first. On the season, Paulson is a 55% free throw shooter. Taking his time here with just 3/10 left on the clock. Makes number 2. Gives the Raiders a 3-point lead.
Point due rule comes in with 0.3 seconds. I mean, you can only tap the ball. So when they inbound it, they have to tap it. They can't catch or shoot it or anything like that. It's the 0.3 rule.
Paulson makes all 3. And that's going to do it. That's the end of the first quarter. The Knights didn't even get a shot off. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, at the end of 1, Rapid City Stevens leads O'Gorman 22-18 is your score. We'll take a 1-minute break right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City, also on GoRaidersLive.com.
The best new vehicles become the best pre-owned, and we have them at Denny Menno Toyota. Certified pre-owned Toyotas. Shop a nice selection of certified pre-owned Toyotas in stock. It gets better. Right now, get financing as low as 5.99% APR for up to 60 months on Camrys, RAV4s, and Corollas. That's 5.99 financing for 5 full years. Shop the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota certified pre-owned at Danny Menno Toyota or DannyMennoToyota.com. The best new vehicle
for 100.
Welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and recreation. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Rapid City Stevens leading O'Gorman 22-18. It'll be Knights basketball to start this second quarter. There's Satter from the baseline. Shot's no good. Terveen gets the loose ball. Kicks the ball out to Gross. Gross top of the key. Kind of clearing everyone out from the wing. Gross left side. They get the ball to Theobald. His shot is no good. Segrist gets the ball. He'll give it to Green. J.D. Green hands the ball. Actually, no, he'll keep it himself. He's at the center circle. Now left side to Paulson. Paulson out to Portlock. They work it down low to White Woman. Being guarded by Satter. The 8-foot jumper, no good. Rebound grabbed by Gross. He'll get the outlet pass to Dutt in the front court. Nyan Dutt in the paint. Puts up the shot.
And there goes Roby taking a look. He's like, what did I do? He's like, no, I got it gathered in here. And Royce Wirtz is going to explain to him that what he did is, what he's explaining to him is when he got the ball, he picked up his dribble and then he jumped. You have to glide off of 1 foot and then land and then go up.
So Derek Roby did not win his case there.
Really? I can't imagine that.
Did not win his case. The Raiders, though, turn the ball over at their end, so O'Gorman gets it back. Here's Gross, takes a step in the arc, puts up the jumper and scores. That's 7 points now for Hayden Gross in the ball game, and it's a 22-20 lead for the Raiders. Here's J.D. Green, thought about a three, and now he's going to shoot the three and knock it down.
I think he rolled his ankle. He landed wrong, and now he's coming off, and they're going to stop and let him come sit down, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when you ruined your kind of momentum when you get it like that. You had a chance. He changed the momentum, stopped, and then just stand there and spot up three. I mean, it worked in his favor, but obviously he got the punishment for it.
So Minka Holly checks in for J.D. Green. There's Dutt, the basketball, drives to his right, loses the ball, but we're going to get a whistle against the Raiders.
And I think that's going to be on Paulson. He was guarded by Holly and did a great job. Holly was vertical, had him absolutely trapped in the air, and Paulson swung underneath it and got a piece of his arm.
That's going to be number 1 on Paulson. First team foul against the Raiders at the free throw line. Nyan Dutt, his first trip to the charity stripe. He misses that one. Does have 8 points in the ball game. Again, the Raiders lead by 5, 25-20.
Grew in the Minion crowd over there trying to get him to
kind of throw him off.
Well, so they're looking at the basket. It's actually the twines are kind of pop out a little bit on the side. It's not much, and they kind of looked at it a little bit, and we had it in the JV game. We're like, we're just going to play on.
Dutt misses both free throws.
I think that was the Minions who did that.
At the other end, Paulson drives hard to the basket, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Hayden Gross. The two officials kind of confer there.
Yep, it was kind of in that intersection where you got, they had a double whistle, but they went back, and you give it to the person whose primary that is, and the driver came out of Nick Gottlieb's area, so he went with it and went with a block.
That's number 2 on Hayden Gross.
Yeah, he just wasn't underneath. It was great defense all the way up to it, but as Paulson went in, Gross kind of tried to stay with him and was just about a half a step behind.
Paulson's now 4 for 4. Chance to stay perfect from the free throw line and give the Raiders a 7-point lead. He misses that one. It goes out of bounds, and O'Gorman comes away with it.
Yeah. It is. I don't know what they're talking about. I think Holly's giving a look like, hey, what's going on? But it clearly looked like Holly tipped it out.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, 2 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. It's 26-20. There's a steal by Minka Holly. He gets into the front court.
Good job getting back on defense.
Holly to Segrist. He pump fakes, drives the baseline. Jumper is no good. Shunzi, White Woman, the rebound, and the putback for 2.
Nice job by Z. Nice defense for O'Gorman. They got back so quickly. Holly tried to do a behind-the-back move, and it forced the defense to get back and adjust.
The Raiders have their largest lead by 8, and here's the steal by Segrist. It's a layup at the other end.
A couple of big-time turnovers, and Coach Roby does not like it.
What a series there by the Raiders on both ends of the court on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. We have 5:36 to go in the second quarter, and the Raiders have their largest lead over the O'Gorman Knights, 30-20. We will keep it here. It's just a 30-second timeout. But, boy, talk about some, defensive pressure there, or just defensive stands there by the Raiders, causing or forcing some turnovers and capitalizing.
Yeah, and it isn't like the defense isn't like tenacious all over them where they're forcing the turnovers. I think the Knights are just a little sloppy in their passing, and the Raiders are being opportunistic and getting it there. It's the quick, a point off turnover, the easy turnover.
So the Raiders back on the court. They'll go with Caleb Brooks, Shunzi, White Woman, Tyler Portlock, Daylor Segrist, and Minka Holly. It will be O'Gorman basketball. 5:36 to go in the second quarter. 10-point lead for the Raiders. Here's Hayden Gross into the front court. Gross picks up his dribble, gets the ball to Bjorkman. Bjorkman from the right elbow puts up the shot, but it was contested by the Raiders.
I think that was Z on that one.
Segrist in the front court, working down low to Shunzi. Turnaround jumper. It's good for White Woman.
Boy, that ball just floated right off of his hand off that spin move.
7 points now for White Woman. It's 32-20 as the Raiders lead by a dozen. At the other end, there's the baseline jumper. It is good for Ryland Satter. His first basket. 32-22, the Raiders by 10. Here's Portlock in the front court. Man-to-man defense. Picks up his dribble. Gets the ball to Brooks. He drives the baseline and puts it just bounced around the rim and came out.
Was going down. Somebody jumped underneath and pushed it out.
So it was Mooney who tried to get the ball into Satter in the left corner. Instead, he throws it out of bounds. So the Raiders will have it. Checking back in, number 10. Or checking in is number 10, Mason Clark, a 5'11 sophomore.
Watching Satter against Shunzi, and he's a great basketball player. He can play the post really well, but Satter's such a physical specimen out there. It's like, you're not going to get anywhere near me.
Satter looking like a football player.
Yeah, he is. He's a dynamite football player.
A spin move, and there's the reverse, but it was partially blocked by O'Gorman. Knights come away with it. Clark works his way into the front court. Left side to Gross on the wing. Back out front, Bjorkman the basketball. Now right side, Dutt's going to shoot the three, and And
Caleb Brooks paid for not staying in Dutt's face.
3 3-pointers in the game for Nyan Dutt. He has 11 points overall. What was a 12-point lead is now 7 for the Raiders. With the basketball, they get it to Brooks, top of the key. Brooks gives it to Segrist. Segrist, again, had 10 points in the first quarter alone, has 12 overall. There's the shot. It is up and good for Brooks as he banks it in for two.
Great penetration along the baseline. The help wasn't there. He went up.
At the other end, Dutt wants to drive the baseline, gets the ball to Satter along the left baseline. Now they work it back out on top. Bjorkman over to Gross. Gross looking inside. Gross out to Clark. Now left side. We're down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. The ball was loose for a moment. Dutt picks it up, gives it to Gross. Down to 8 seconds. Gross dribbles to his left, spins back to his right, gets in the lane. Now right corner. Clark is forced to shoot the three. That's no good. Not the shot they probably wanted. So the Raiders have it. In the left corner, Segrist shoots the three. No good. Shunzi had a chance for it, but he comes up empty as Dutt gets the ball. Left side to Gross. He'll do the quick release three, and nothing but net for Hayden Gross. The Knights can definitely shoot the long range.
They're in any game anywhere because of how well they shoot like that.
Here's White Woman in the low post. Ball goes out of bounds. It was last touched by Satter. Terveen as well as Theobald come back in. For the Raiders, we have Marty in, and then J.D. Green, who had left due to a possible ankle injury. He's back on the court. And we have an official's timeout.
Something on the floor here.
Royce Wurtzer, I think, cleaning it up there.
He just wants some dance moves. That's really what he's looking for.
Well, we have a quick moment on the State Farm scoreboard, a scoring update. At halftime, it's Brandon Valley 40, Rapid City Central 20 in boys basketball action. From earlier tonight, Brandon Valley defeats Rapid City Central in girls basketball 51-42. Caitlin Brooks will exit the ball game. We have Ashton Paulson who comes in for him. J.D. Green will trigger it in. Green gets the ball to Segrist. He pump fakes, drives the baseline, feeds the ball to Green. Green passes back to Paulson. He hands it off to Holly. Now they work it around to Green. Down low, Mardian. Turnaround jumper by Mardian. A little too strong. And we're going to get an offensive foul or push by the Raiders.
It's either going to be on Mardian or Segrist. It's going to be on Segrist. Just
number
fighting.
One.
Yeah, just fighting after that rebound. Mardian's shot. It was a good-looking shot, kind of a little floater there, but unfortunately couldn't get it to fall, and just fighting for the rebound.
In the front court, this is Mason Clark, top of the key. Clark just dribbling out there at the top of the key with 1:45 to go. They go to Gross on the right wing. Now to Terveen in the corner. Back to Clark. To Terveen. Terveen in the paint, puts up the shot. It's contested by Mardian. Raiders come away with it. J.D. Green on the far side gets into the front court. Green to Paulson. Paulson top of the key. Over to Segrist. Segrist crossover dribble. Down low to Marty, and it will get a pushing foul. That will be on number 20, John Lent, the 6'4 junior, with his first. Second team foul against the Knights with 1:21 remaining before halftime. Mardian will exit as Shunzi White Woman checks back in. J.D. Green will trigger it in from the left baseline. Green to Paulson. Paulson pump fakes, drives, had the ball taken away by Mooney. Mooney in the front court. Passes to Terveen. Now they go to Gross, top the key, left side. That's going to shoot the three, and it's nothing but net for Nyan Dunn. That's a fourth tray in the ball game for him.
He is just such a weapon. You have to get a hand in his face.
34-31, the Raiders by 3 with 52 seconds to play in the half. Here's Segrist driving the left baseline. And that'll be a blocking foul against the Knights. As Segrist ran out of real estate, but he got bumped there by the Knights.
Yeah, he was just going to dish it off, but the defender was right there, not in the position that he wanted to be in. Let's take a look at some of the shooting percentages for Nyan Dunn for the season. He's a 37% downtown shooter, but boy, he's working it tonight.
He is.
I think he's 4 for 4, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's missed.
Here's Holly, baseline jumper is good for Minka Holly. He has 6 points in the game.
Holly's like, I'm smooth here too.
5-point Raider lead with 34 seconds remaining. Just about 3-second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. There's the three. That one is short for Gross. Holly gets the rebound. The Raiders can hold for the final shot as the shot clock is off.
Coach Staver pulls his whatever cheat sheet out of his pocket and calls for a play. Usually victory is a play I hear him call in this situation.
Here's Segrist. Segrist to Green. Down to 4 seconds. Green driving, passing to Brooks.
I don't know why.
Brooks has the ball. Green puts it up, but it's no good.
He dished it right into Brooks' double team. He had an opportunity underneath. I don't know why he thought he could dish it off.
Mm-hmm. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. After one half of basketball, it's Rapid City Stevens 36, O'Gorman 31. We'll step aside. Our our halftime show coming up next when we return in 1 minute, right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
For nearly 25 years, Security First Bank has been the bank, a dependable fixture of the community and innovators of what comes next. As we celebrate our history, we remain committed to your dreams with dedicated and driven people, expertise, and attention. Because when you're the bank, you're driven by the people who are your customers, neighbors, and friends. And that's been our commitment since 1898. Security First Bank. We're the bank.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket. Out to 3, Jay Hayes. Good. And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
In the Dakotas and has ingrained their business into this community. That's Consolidated Construction, online at onecalltobuild.com. Here at halftime, Rapid City Stevens leading 36-31. The Raiders jumped out to a 22-18 lead at the end of the first quarter, and then they outscored the Knights 14-13 to grab that 5-point lead here at the break. So, Dean, your thoughts on this first half and what the Raiders did right to have this 5-point lead?
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing, I think the top of the list of things that I said, they have to come out here with an intensity, a much better intensity than they had the other night when they played the Cobblers. Just didn't seem to be in it. Tonight they are. They're all over it. They're hitting shots. They're crashing the boards really well. They're forcing turnovers. They're doing a lot of those fundamental things right, which is what you want to see from the Raiders. And again, if they want to be able to compete with teams from the eastern side of the state. So it's really good to see. I mean, at times people just kind of come up and just take care of things. It was Taylor Segrist who opened the game really well, just, dropping things left and right, and then Minka Hawley had his chance, kind of took over for a little bit. Kalen Brooks jumped in there a few times doing a few things, and so they've kind of each taken their turns, which is good to see. You can't just sit there and just depend on one player, or another. You got to be able to have multiple weapons come in for you, and obviously we know Segrist can, what he can do. We know Hawley can, what he can do, and it's good to see Brooks kind of come in and jump in as well. So a lot of those looking really good. They're jumping out well. Probably the biggest thing, forcing the turnovers. I think that's really had a huge difference in this game.
Both teams, though, with 7 turnovers in this first half. It's funny how you watch the game and you think one team is just, so much higher in turnovers, right, but they're even at 7. They're even on rebounds at 14 apiece. But it's that field goal percentage. The Raiders shooting 54% compared to only 44% for O'Gorman. But, it's Nyan Dutt, 14 first-half points, 4 3-pointers, keeping the Knights in this ballgame.
Yeah, it's funny how we noticed that at least early on, and so maybe it leveled out as the game kind of went along, but early on, they were just hitting shots left and right where the O'Gorman Knights were like, man, this is not going to be shooting 60-70% by the time this is over with, but they kind of cooled down a little bit. Raiders getting tough defensively. Hayden Gross is 10 points, doing well, but yeah, the one we're looking at, boy, Nyan Dutt. I was right, 4 for 4 from downtown, 5 of 7 from the floor, so he's something they really got to pay attention to. Now, they got a lot of weapons. They can shoot well, so you got to kind of watch it all over the place. But Nyan Dutt, you really got to know where he's at, and you got to be able, I think I saw Kalen Brooks guarding him most of the half. You got to know where he's at. You just can't let him get the ball easily. I know he's going to try to drive it in there, and I know you're afraid to let him drive, but obviously right now he is able to hit the ball from downtown. Is he going to keep that up? Who knows? We'll see in the second half.
So the score here at halftime, 36-31, the Raiders leading O'Gorman in this boys basketball contest. Let's take a look at today's box score being brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's newest and most innovative event center, featuring native hardwood floors. They have digital scoreboards, color-changing lights, an enormous space to host multiple sports games at once. The Box really is the premier youth sports venue in the area. But sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can turn into the perfect space for any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. Looking at the box score, first for the visitors, the number 5 ranked O'Gorman Knights, led at halftime by Nyan Dutt with 14 points, 10 for Hayden Gross, 5 for Caleb Turbine, and 2 for Rylan Satter. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, they have very balanced scoring, but Taylor Segrist leads the way with 12 points for the Raiders. You have 7 for Shunzi Whitewoman, 6 for Minka Hawley, 4 for Caleb Brooks, as well as 4 for Ashton Paulson, and 3 for J.D. Green. So a 5-point lead here at halftime for the Raiders. Dean, any adjustments, or what do you expect out of these two teams in the second half?
Well, I'm sure Coach Roby's all over his team right now. The guys, what are you doing turning the ball over? We talked about the mystery of looking at numbers. 7-7 in the turnover department. Obviously, the Raiders turn the ball over. It's kind of a turnover offense very early on, but either way, it just, I think if the Knights want to keep with it, They're obviously going to have to keep shooting the ball the way they are and just do a better job of taking care of it, to be honest. And easy opportunities. The Raiders, I hate to say it, they're going to have to know where Nyan Dutt is. They're just going to have a second set of eyes on him somehow, some way. And if you're going to have to, if they run a screen off him, you're going to have to switch off. You got to keep a hand in his face. You can't go under if he tries to use a screen, because he'll just step back and shoot it. So we'll see what happens as the O'Gorman Knights, they come out to warm up for the second half. The Raiders will be back here very shortly as we get set for the second half action between the O'Gorman Knights and the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. 36-31 is your score. Rapid City Stevens by 5 here at the break. The Raiders led by as many as 12 points in that first half. We're going to step aside. We'll come back, pass along some scores for you, and then we'll get you set for the start of the second half when we return in 1 minute right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show. With big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown Show from 4 to 6 p.m. on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. And stream us all the time at foxsportsrapidcity.com. Hi,
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS. Do you have a mic?
Well, we want to welcome you back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium as we wrap up our halftime show being built by Consolidated Construction. We're just moments away from the start of the second half here at Carroll Higher Gymnasium between Rapid City Stevens and O'Gorman, as the Raiders lead the Knights 36-31. But it's kind of an upset Friday night. Dean, you have some scores to pass along in boys basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. In Double A, number 2 Harrisburg falls to Aberdeen Central 56-54, and number 3 Sioux Falls Washington falls to Watertown 56-53. Are we going to have more upsets? I don't know. More games going on here. Around, we know Brandon Valley won, but right now the number 5 O'Gorman Knights are trailing, like you said, the Raiders 36-31. The Raiders trying to stay perfect here at home. They're right now 5-0 here on their home court. And boy, what a win. Again, they're trying to, be competitive with some of those East River schools, and what a victory would mean for the Raiders here tonight if they can hold on here in the second half. It's Raider basketball. Here's Caleb Brooks now as the Raiders go from right to left. Gets it to Segrist. He gets around the screen, gets to the right corner, gives the ball to White Woman in the low post. He's stumbling, and we're going to get a blocking foul on Ryland Satter. And I don't know if they're going to call a flop or whatever, but it doesn't look like Z actually made too much contact with him, and he hit the ground. You think of what effort you have to get Satter on the ground. Yeah. The guy is a beast out there. Mm-hmm. Segrist gets the ball into Portlock. Portlock, top of the key. Right side back to Segrist on the wing. Segrist looking inside for the post. He gets it, trying to get it to Brooks. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by Dutt. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Dutt, he's got such his arms are practically down to his knees there, and he's just guarding Brooks with nothing. Brooks kind of looks like he's got not a lot of energy tonight. Here's Portlock now for the Raiders. I know there's some sickness kind of going around here, so I don't know if he's got part of that or what it is. Segrist to Brooks. Brooks drives to his left, gets the elbow, now hands the ball to Segrist, down low to White Woman in the post. And we'll get another whistle. And I think that was going to go finally on
must have had a travel. There's no foul on the play. So a travel against White Woman. Still 50 seconds into the quarter, 36-31, the Raiders by 5. This is Terveen, the basketball. Out to Dutt, now right side to Gross. Gross on the right wing as the Knights go from left to right. Back to Terveen. Terveen, right corner. Here's Satter, the basketball, being guarded by White Woman. He backs his way in, loses the ball. Dutt picks it up, passes it to Satter. Satter, cross-court pass, right side, gets it to Terveen. Actually, that was Theobald. His shot is no good. It's Brooks who comes away with it. Brooks gives the ball to Segrist. He'll work his way across the timeline. He'll hand it to Portlock. Portlock, right side, they go to Holly. Holly back to Brooks. He'll hand the ball off to Portlock. Bounce pass to White Woman. Turnaround jumper, no good. The ball is going to be tipped, and we're going to get a whistle, I think. That'll be on White Woman.
Yeah, he didn't get it, but he went back for the tip and just stuck his arm on the backside of the defender and went back the other way. We've almost 2 minutes gone by here, but we've got no score.
That's number 1 on White Woman. First team foul this quarter for the Raiders. Satter, the basketball, being guarded by White Woman. Out to Terveen. That's Caleb Terveen over to Gross. Now to Dutt. Dutt, again with the hand in his face, knocks down the three.
But it wasn't much of a hand. We talked about it in the first half. Brooks was guarding him. He got there, and he really just kind of just faded at him. He didn't really aggressively go after him. There's Minka Holly turnaround, no good. O'Gorman coming away with it. 36-34. Here's Terveen for the lead, a three, but that's no good. Brooks grabs the rebound. And we're going to get an official's timeout. Yeah, I think Brooks got hit in the face or something. I didn't see it, and it's part of the rebound, and he's going to have a seat. J.D. Green's going to come in. That really changes the complexity of what's going on.
5:34 to go in the third quarter. This is going to be Segrist now for the Raiders. Into the front court. It's a 2-point lead for the Raiders. He'll hand it off to Holly. Now they go to Portlock. Back to Segrist. He's going to get the quick release three and knock it down.
Love it. I love it when he exerts himself into the game. It's literally a different game for the Raiders.
15 points now for Taylor Segrist. And again, driving, that was Noon Doot. We had a pronunciation correction on that, so Noon Doot is how you say that. Turnaround jumper is short at the other end for White Woman. Here's Gross. Now stolen by Holly. Holly to Segrist in the front court, driving on Satter. Satter provides the pressure, and he comes away with the basketball. They'll get it to Terveen. Terveen in the paint, dishes it to Satter. He pump fakes, drives, and he's going to put it in for two.
And what a great dish to find Satter underneath. There were two white jerseys in front of him. How he found them, I don't know.
4:22 to go in the third quarter. 3-point Raider lead. White Woman out to J.D. Green for the trade. That's no good. Satter gets the rebound. Satter to Theobald on that far side. Back to Satter in the low post. The shot is up and good for Satter.
And J.D. Green was there for defense. There's just nothing he could do about it. Little unfortunate skinny J.D. Green against the big beefy Satter.
And Coach Stabner wants a timeout with 3:59 to go in the third quarter.
You just knew this run was coming.
Mm-hmm. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, it's the Raiders 39, the O'Gorman Knights 38. We'll step aside for 30 seconds right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The kid wrecked his car, his third car. The kid needs a car. We need the kid to have a car. What did I do? I begged my insurance agent for mercy. That's another story. Then I went to Copper Motors in Rapid City and found a safe, reliable car.
Copper Motors is a small, trusted dealership specializing in safe, quality pre-owned vehicles. No pressure, no hassle. Each vehicle is inspected, serviced, and detailed with a warranty like no other. Copper Motors, corner of Campbell and Omaha.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. We have 3:59 to go in the third quarter. The Raiders led by as many as 12 points in this ball game, and now their lead is only 1, as the Raiders have been outscored 7-3 in this third quarter, and it's 39-38. Here's J.D. Green out to Portlock. Back to Green. Now cross-court pass to Segrist. He thought about the 3. Now back to Green on the left side. Green in the corner. Drives the baseline. Over to a wide-open Segrist for 3, and he buries it. What a find by J.D. Green. He's over in his corner. Finds Segrist in the far corner, and Segrist catches it in. 18 points in the game. At the other end, we're going to get a whistle against the Raiders. But that's 4 3-pointers in the game, 18 points overall for Taylor Segrist.
Boy, he's really carrying the team, at least offensively-wise. The team's really helping out in other ways, kind of doing their job, but Segrist finding the offense.
Segrist coming in, averaging 11.2 points per game. Here's the shot by Gross. That's no good. Kalen Brooks grabs the rebound. Brooks in a hurry, gets into the front court on the far sideline. Brooks to Segrist. He'll shoot the 3. He's feeling it.
Yeah,
yes. Another 3 for Taylor Segrist.
Same spot as before. This time he had a hand in his face. He said, I don't care. I'm going to shoot it anyway.
5 3-pointers, 21 points overall for Taylor Segrist, and it's 45-38. The Raiders by 7. 2:56 to go in the third. Here's Dute. Again, Noon. Dute is the correct pronunciation. Gets the ball to Mooney. Now Mooney kicks it out to Dute. Dute again, crossover dribble. Dishes down low. They get the ball to Terveen. He's forced to put up the shot as the buzzer is winding down. It goes out of bounds, and the Raiders come away with it. So good defensive pressure that time by the Raiders.
And it really started with the way Kalen Brooks played Noon Dute. He touched the ball twice in that possession, and each time he was right up on him. And then Dute tried to do a little move, a little UCLA cut, and try to get inside. Kalen Brooks didn't stay with him totally, but it was enough to force the ball out of his hands.
Here's Brooks, the basketball on the left wing, out to Segrist. Segrist wants to drive. Instead, he's going to go to Holly. He'll fire the 3, and the Raiders are raining threes here at Carroll Higher Gymnasium.
We got the rain coming tomorrow, but nope, it's here tonight.
That's 4 3-pointers in the quarter for the Raiders themselves. The ball will go out of bounds. It'll stay O'Gorman basketball. And I think Coach Dave was talking to Nick Gottlieb. He's like, because I thought, too, that there was a travel here. Was it Dude who got the ball right in the middle, and then he dished it off? It looked like he kind of shuffled his feet. So 7 3-pointers in the contest overall for the Raiders as we get close to the 2-minute warning here in this third quarter and a 10-point lead. And that one misses everything for Theobald. They go to Holly in the front court. Holly will shoot the 3 from the top of the key, and he knocks
Number
it down.
1.
5 3-pointers in the quarter for the Raiders as they stretch their lead now to 13 points over the O'Gorman Knights.
Boy, it feels so good when you're feeling it, right? I mean, everybody's on board. The strokes are just going down. The rain, like you put it, it was misty today, and now it's rainy tonight.
Absolutely. Again, on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, the Raiders jump out to a 13-point lead over the O'Gorman Knights. 51-38 is your score. We'll step aside for 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Customer service.
5 O'Gorman Knights. Yeah, just the energy level just all of a sudden went way up in the air. Here's Dude giving it to Bjorkman. Bjorkman back to Dude. He'll shoot the three from the top of the key. That's in and out, no good. The rebound to Brooks. He'll get the outlet pass to Segrist. Segrist to Holly in the front court. Loses the ball, able to get it back. Holly to Segrist. Segrist on the wing across from the scorer's table now. Gives the ball to Green. 1:18 to go here in the third quarter. Back to Brooks. Brooks around the perimeter, left side. They tried to get it to Segrist. Knocked out of bounds by Henry Theobald. So it will stay Raider basketball. They have 14 seconds on the shot clock. You know, and the Knights, they know they got to amp it up a little bit. And it was a great timeout by Rowe because the energy level has now dropped. Crossover, dribble, driving, and getting it to the right corner, trying to dish it off was Green to Holly, but instead Green throws it out of bounds. Yeah, it was a great look. Again, he had that great look to Segrist earlier from the corner. This one from the short porch there. So this will be Mooney in the front court. Gives it to Theobald. Theobald to Bjorkman. Bjorkman around the screen. Gets to the elbow. Now in the paint. The shot blocked by Holly, but a whistle on Holly. Stabner can't believe it. He's like, we had a great look. He had a lot of ball on that one. And obviously, Coach, not Coach, I was going to say, that's only number 1 on Minka Holly. Yeah, the official obviously had a different look at it than we did. At the free throw line, Jackson Bjorkman, the 6'3" junior, makes the free throw. The Raiders were on a 15-0 run. Actually, correction, they were on a 12-0 run until Bjorkman hits those 2 free throws. That makes it 51-40. The Raiders lead by 11. And their largest lead was 13. Here's Segrist. The ball goes through his legs, though, picked up by the Knights. They'll give it to no, that's going to be Theobald for 3. That's no good. Holly with the rebound gets it to Segrist. Segrist works his way into the front court on the far side across from the scorer's table. Gets to the top of the key. They go to Brooks now. Brooks crossover dribble on the wing. Now back near the scorer's table. Round the screen to the right side. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Brooks to Segrist. Segrist looking to go one-on-one. Passes to White Woman instead. White Woman to Holly. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Holly to Brooks. Brooks puts up the shot. It's blocked by Duke. And then now they wanted to travel because they heard the buzzer go off, and Duke started walking with the ball. Right, and the whistle, and of course they hear the whistle, so they stopped. You know, they heard the buzzer, and then of course there's the shot at the buzzer from midcourt, and that is short for Tatum Mooney. And that is the way we end this third quarter at Carroll Higher Gymnasium. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. After 3, it's Rapid City Stevens 51, the O'Gorman Knights 40. We'll step aside for 1 minute. The fourth quarter coming up next. Right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
A few years ago, Security First Bank started talking about what it means to be the bank. And the truth is, for 125 years, we've known exactly what it means to you. Consistency, dependability, determination, and devotion. For 125 years, we've been resilient and steadfast in our commitment to you. History is not just looking backward, it's also the stuff we're made of moving forward. Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. With Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Raider boys, they lead O'Gorman 51-40 in Game 2 of our doubleheader. As we start the fourth quarter, it'll be Knights basketball. Cross-court pass. Here's Terveen from the left corner. That one is no good. Rebound grabbed by Theobald to keep it alive. They kick it outside. Gross's three is no good. Statter the rebound. His shot is no good. The ball continually tapped around, and now the Raiders come away with it.
Yeah, that was
they pushed the ball to Holly in the front court. A collision between Holly and White Woman, who comes up limping. This is Gross who drives. The scoop shot will be good. It's the basket plus one for Hayden Gross as they try to fight themselves back in this ballgame.
Boy, that was just the possession down here was absolutely ugly. That way wasn't good either. And I think they're in there talking to each other. The officials are in there talking to the players, and there were a lot of it had to do with Noon Jute. He got boxed out by Green, and both fell to the floor, and then Duke came flying in from another direction for another possession, and Gross's free throw is no good, but the Knights get it back, and there's a huge three for number 23, Caleb Terveen. He has 8 points now. Ninth three-pointer of the game as well for the O'Gorman Knights. And he was just a scratch start tonight, as Austin isn't in the game.
51-45, the Raiders by 6. J.D. Green the basketball to Segrist. Trying to work it inside. They get it to White Woman. White Woman, too hard off the glass, no good. Brooks gets the rebound, and it will be the basket plus one for Caleb Brooks.
That ball took about an hour to fall down there. And we're all just waiting for that to happen. How about Brooks fighting underneath again? That's what momentum does to you. Just continues to carry on like that. I know the O'Gorman Knights kind of went on a little mini run there, but the Raiders fighting back. Brooks gets the three-point play. He has 7 points in the ball game, and it's now a 9-point Raider lead, 54-45. Duke shoots the three from the top of the key. Brooks a rebound on the miss. Gets the ball to Segrist. Segrist in the front court on the far side. Looking inside. They go to White Woman. He has position, and he banks it in for two. What a play for White Woman. I know, great. Another great find. He just has his little spin. Duke was late on the help.
9 points now for Shunzi White Woman. Back to an 11-point Raider lead. Terveen the basketball. Right side to Duke. Now they get it to Theobald. Out to Gross. He'll shoot the three. That one is short, no good. Chasing down the loose ball is Theobald. Theobald's going to launch a three from the top of the key. That's no good. Statter the rebound, and he puts it in for two.
And Coach Roby's going to take a timeout here, trying to keep his team, keep the energy in it, try to stop the run from the Raiders, give himself some help. So we will take a look at some scores in just a moment. Again, on the State Farm scoreboard, it's a 30-second timeout. We'll stay right here. On the State Farm scoreboard with 5:58 to go in the fourth quarter, it's the Raiders 56, O'Gorman 47. Just looking back at the Kearney files, if the Raiders win tonight, it would be the first win against O'Gorman since 2019.
Wow, that's 5 years. So, again, it would be a huge win. They last won or defeated O'Gorman, let's see. Looks like it's been 5 straight losses for the Raiders against O'Gorman. So this would be a huge win tonight. Another high school basketball final tonight. Brandon Valley over Rapid City Central, 63-29. So the last time the Raiders won was back on March 15th of 2018. They defeated O'Gorman 53-40.
That's a state tournament.
That is a state tournament game.
We were probably there,
I think it was when the Raiders and the Cobblers had both made the state tournament in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I remember that year when they fought for third place.
They did. So that was the last time the Raiders had beaten O'Gorman. Segrist is down. There was kind of a collision there, and Segrist is down, so they are going to
with his left leg there. His left leg is extended. I don't know if he hurt his knee. Boy, that would be a huge injury for the Raiders. Right now, he's been just carrying the team.
Segrist with.
They're going to help him up, and he's going to 21 points in the ball game. Of course, he's got a knee sleeve on there, and he looks like he's going to walk it off decently. But, you know, when you've already got a previous injury and then you do something to it, sometimes it's just more than you realize. And after you kind of get it together, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. But you just, for a moment, you think, oh, man, this is going to be bad. So the Raiders will keep the basketball. J.D. Green comes in. Portlock gets the ball to Green in the backcourt. Green works his way against Mooney, gets into the front court, gives the ball to Portlock. Now they go to Brooks. Brooks in the low post, lost the ball, gets it back, though. He's going to shoot the baseline jumper at the buzzer, no good. In the front court, Turbine goes coast to coast. Hawley gets the block, but Duke comes away with it. Turbine shoots the three from the corner and knocks it down. What a possession. Hawley trailing behind, flies in there, gets the big-time block, but unfortunately Duke saved it and he converted. Three three-pointers in the game for Turbine. He has 11 points. Here's White Woman in the low post, and he is fouled. So he heads to the free throw line, where he is 1 of 2 tonight from the free throw line. Yeah, I think that's going to be on Duke. That's going to be on Mooney. Duke was on the backside. Mooney was on the front side. He had a lot of pressure there. He's still going for it, though. So the free throw good for White Woman. No, he missed it. I'm sorry. Second free throw is good. Coach Stabner's got to get a timeout. He's got to get things together. He's got to try to keep the O'Gorman Knights from making that another big run to. I mean, they're only down 7. They got to keep them down. And I see Brad Gilbert, the athletic trainer, looking at the knee as they pulled that sleeve down. So looking at the knee there of Daylor Segrist, who's limping a little bit on that left leg. What a huge loss he would be for the Raiders. Just hoping it's nothing significant. Right, yeah, and there was a collision over there. He wasn't limping too bad, but you could definitely see a noticeable limp there, so I think he just wants to kind of check it out. So we have 4:57 to go in the fourth quarter on the State Farm scoreboard. It is Rapid City Stevens 57, the O'Gorman Knights 50. We'll step aside for 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
And it's O'Gorman basketball coming out of that timeout. Mooney gets it to Satter. His shot is no good. Green comes away with the rebound for the Raiders as we welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Here's Green, the basketball, being hounded by Mooney, and that'll be a reach-in foul on Tayton Mooney. That'll be number 3 on him.
Yeah, Mooney, his effort is just off the charts what he does, but unfortunately it's a little bit reckless at times. He gets those easy fouls. 4:20 remaining. Raiders have a 57-50 lead, trying to hold on for the win tonight over the number 5 O'Gorman Knights. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Into the left corner. Here's Portlock. Down low to Brooks. Brooks backs his way in the post. Fadeaway jumper, no good. White Woman, the rebound, and the putback for 2. How about White Woman doing a little cleanup duty here?
12 points for Shunzi White Woman. Duke drives the baseline at the other end. We're going to get a whistle against the Raiders.
That's Hawley. He's just trying to absorb the shock of Duke taking off. He's like, here he comes. I mean, it's not like Satter running you over. Satter's like a fullback slash tight end or whatever, but Duke's still a load himself.
And Portlock went for the steal. Knights basketball.
Good quick hands by Portlock there. He's pretty solid. Is he a lineman?
I think so. Here's Dute to Terveen. Caleb Terveen gets in the right corner, dumps it off to Satter. And that's a 2 for Ryland Satter. 10 points in the game now for Satter. 59-52, the Raiders by 7. We're down to 3.5 minutes remaining. Brooks being hounded by Gross, gets to the left corner. Gives the ball to Holly, now back to Brooks. Brooks drives the baseline, pump fakes, and fakes it in for 2.
Good hesitation by Brooks. He got underneath. The pressure was coming. He let him fly by and let it loose.
9 points for Brooks and a 9-point Raider lead. Dude at the end, a baseline jumper, and he misses everything. Green gets the rebound. J.D. Green works his way into the front court, gets it to Brooks on the far side. Brooks to Portlock. Portlock loses the ball. Actually, I don't know if it bounced off of his knee, but either way, he lost it. It goes out of bounds there. He tried to grab it, or
those frustrating turnovers.
Mm-hmm. 61-52 on the State Farm scoreboard. The Raiders by 9. They've led by as many as 13. Caleb Terveen in the front court to Hayden Gross on the wing. Back to Terveen for 3. That is no good. Brooks the rebound. Bounce pass goes to Segrist, who's checked back in. He kind of snuck back into the ballgame.
We got to keep our eyes open better.
Here's Segrist. They'll go to White Woman along the left baseline. He backs his way in on Satter. Spins. And the ball goes out of bounds. They'll say it'll stay Raider basketball as both Shunzi and Satter were both pointing opposite directions.
Right? Never believe the player, ever. I've learned that. Or the coaches. So obviously Satter's not going to give any ground to Shunzi there.
Segrist will shoot a 3 from the top or from the left wing. That's no good. Here comes Dude in the front court for the Knights. Wants to drive, had the ball knocked loose. Satter picks it up, shoots the jumper. And what a nice second half. 10 points in the second half for Ryland Satter.
Yeah, he's not a big offensive player. He's more just, defense and rebounds and such. But
Segrist trying to get the ball. They get it to White Woman. Now back to Segrist. And a travel on Gaylor Segrist as he tried to get that quick first step and make a break for the basket.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to feel his knee out a little bit. You kind of get that. You're kind of self-conscious. That shot obviously was way off target, the one he took in the last possession down court. And, now you just favor a little bit, and all of a sudden you're doing things a little bit off of what you normally do.
Kalen Brooks will exit as Minka Hawley checks back in. There's Hayden Gross across the timeline. 7-point lead. Gross shoots the 3. That one is short, no good, but an offensive rebound to Mooney. Now they work it around. Left side, it's going to go to Terveen for 3. That's no good. Segrist the rebound. Segrist gives the ball to Portlock. Back to Segrist. Segrist into the front court. Right now, the Raiders just trying to chew up some of that time. And it looks like we're going to get a full timeout by Coach Stabner. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, we've got 1:34 remaining in this ball game. It's the Raiders 61, the O'Gorman Knights 54. We'll step aside for a quick 30-second timeout on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
Anytime auto sales, service, and detail broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night on Fox Sports Rapid City with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. We're 94 seconds away from the Raiders winning their 5th straight game and remaining perfect here at home. They would improve to 6-0 with a win here at home.
And they definitely came out tonight ready to play and obviously shooting the ball really well. Probably the biggest difference in the game right now. J.D. Green is going to be double-teamed on the inbounds play. We'll get a whistle against the O'Gorman Knights as they need to start fouling to get the Raiders into bonus. Not much. I mean, they're there right now. They just needed one more. So that's number 4. That foul is on number 23, Caleb Turbine, his first. Only took 4 seconds off the clock. Brooks will get the ball into Holly. Holly to Green. J.D. Green. They go to Holly on the right elbow. Turns, faces the basket, looks inside, hands it off to Green. 22 seconds on the shot clock, over to Segrist. Segrist on the wing, down low to White Woman. White Woman along the baseline. There's the pass to Brooks. Brooks went for the dunk, and he misses it. Gross comes away with the basketball. Gross, left side. Satter's going to shoot the wide-open 3. That's no good. Duke gets it back. Now the shot was blocked by Holly. Holly with the block tried to get the ball to Segrist. It goes out of bounds, and it will stay O'Gorman basketball. Well, talk about the defense of Minka Holly.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he has that read so well, and Coach Roby is going to take his last time out here, which is kind of surprising. Thought maybe he might keep it in his pocket for just a little bit longer in case they got into a trap situation where they need to get out of it. We have 52.3 seconds to play in this contest. On the State Farm scoreboard, it's the Raiders 61, the Knights 54. So a full timeout by head coach Derek Roby. We'll just check our scoreboard real quickly. That would have been a better timeout for the Raiders with Holly trapped over in the corner. Use one of those. You can set up something to get the ball down there because you want to get a nice long possession. You want to cut this game clock in half. So the Raiders lead by 7. Some other scores real quickly. A final tonight, Brandon Valley over Rapid City Central in boys basketball, 63-29 at halftime. It's Huron 26, Spearfish 23. And then at the end of the first half, it's number 1 Mitchell 40 and Sturgis 24. A couple other ones. Rapid City Christian is home to Shadron right now. They're leading the Shadron Cardinals 56-35 with a couple minutes left to go in the third. 52 seconds remaining. Here come the O'Gorman Knights. They'll inbound the basketball. They'll trigger it in from the right baseline. Hayden Gross will trigger it in. Gross gets the ball into Mooney. Mooney outside to Duke. Duke almost stolen, but Turbine comes away with it into Satter in the corner. Back to Turbine. Turbine against White Woman. And now there's a steal by Segrist. Segrist to Green as the Raiders try to chew up some clock. Here's Segrist in the front court. He is going to be fouled by Satter. That is going to be number 3 on Ryland. 5th team foul. That will send Daylor Segrist to the free throw line for the first time tonight. And he's a 73% free throw shooter, so that's not who they want. The Knights want to put on the free throw line. You want someone like Brooks, who is 38%. That free throw is good for Segrist. What a game he has had. 22 points tonight for the junior, Daylor Segrist. You know, he jumped out early, kind of established things. Then he kind of cruised along, let the kind of team kind of take care of things, and then, boy, did he come alive again in the second half. Second free throw is good. He averages a little better than 11 points per game, but now 23 points for the Raiders. Yeah, so Coach Dave is going to talk about this. Defend the 3, maybe give him something up early. You don't want to totally empty out the paint or anything like that, but you want to be able to defend the 3. You don't want to foul them, obviously, but you want to keep him from, launching the 3s constantly. What you want him to do is to chew up clock trying to get a good look at a 3 or a good look at a basket. Just 33.7 seconds to play. 63-54, the Raiders by 9. Be surprised if they did like a 3-2 zone defense, something just to have them force something from the outside. You still want to make sure you got someone in the perimeter and keep people underneath, but not make it easy. They want to get him up there to force them to pick the ball. There you go. This will be Clark in the front court. 28 seconds now. Clark around the screen in the paint. Drives, puts up the shot. The layup good for Mason Clark.
It went right down the middle. I was like, hey, you got to stop the ball drive. You got to make him kick the ball and move it around a bit.
Here's Ashton Paulson in the front court to Green with 14 seconds now as the Raiders just let the clock wind down, and they will get the win over the O'Gorman Knights. They will get a win against the Knights for the first time since 2018.
5 years it's been in the making, and come back and defend their own turf for another night. So the Raiders stay perfect here at home. They improve to 6-0 at home. They pick up their 10th win of the year as they get the win over the O'Gorman Knights. The final score on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It's Rapid City Stevens 63, the O'Gorman Knights 56. Like we said, the Raiders improved to 10-4 on the year. O'Gorman has their 2-game win streak snapped as they are now 8-6 on the season. We're going to step aside for 1 minute. When we come back, it's the post-game show right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Z Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Z Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
And we want to welcome you back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium on this Friday night with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for joining us, and we want to welcome you to the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support our local teams, and they want to be your trusted partner for all of your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit them at pioneerbankandtrust.com. So the Raiders get the win tonight in boys basketball. 63-56 is the final. The Raiders were outscored 16-12 in that final quarter, but they had enough to hold on for the win. With that win, the Raiders knock off the number 5 team in the latest rankings. O'Gorman was coming in the number 5 team, but now they're 8-6 on the year, while the Raiders go to 10-4. For the Raiders, they win kind of the storyline we talked about. The Raiders get the win over O'Gorman for the first time since the state tournament back in 2018. So the Raiders, I'm sure, pretty pleased with the win. Coach Stabner says he wants them to compete against those teams, those tough teams in eastern South Dakota, and they did that tonight.
Yeah, he said that we're not quite at the level of the top. He said 3 or 4 teams is what he said. Now, this is number 5, so maybe that's what he was talking about. Now, that was last week, so things have changed since then, but I would say after the performance against the Cobblers the other night, he might say, we can't beat number 6, 7, or 8 if it comes down to that, but they sure did tonight. They showed up, and really probably the bottom line, there's 2 big things tonight. They gave a great effort tonight. They worked really hard. The numbers don't show like a work hard so amazing. The only glaring number that shows, if you're going to look at the stat sheet, is the shooting percentage. The Raiders shot 500 from the floor, 57% from downtown. That's clearly the game winner right there. 37% for the O'Gorman Knights from the floor, 32% from downtown. So just literally making more shots. They were working hard. The Raiders had a similar in rebounds. They had more turnovers than the O'Gorman Knights, but the bottom line is they just shot better than they did. And it was the downtown shooting that was really the difference in the ball game. And it's amazing the momentum that does when you get on a roll and all of a sudden you just start cashing them in like that. Everything goes. It's a lot like I'm going to use a similar situation last week. The Lions and the 49ers. The Lions had everything going in at halftime, and then all of a sudden they went for it on fourth down, and they didn't make it. Then they turned the ball over, then they went for it on fourth down again, and all of a sudden all that momentum that they had going in there, it's just gone. Same thing here. You're going along, the other team is hanging around and everything, and you let them hanging around, and something will happen. And then all of a sudden you start raining threes down. And it just, when you're the defense and you're watching those balls going, you're just like, Coach, I don't know what else to do. And it just really deflates you. You have to try to recover somehow, some way to make that happen. And tonight the O'Gorman Knights just could not do that against the great shooting performance by the Raiders as a team. So the Raiders get the win, 63-56 over the O'Gorman Knights. Let's take a look at today's box score being brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's newest and most innovative event center, featuring native hardwood floors, digital scoreboards, innovative, color-changing lights. They have an enormous space to host multiple sports games at once. The Box is the premier youth sports venue in this area, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can turn into the perfect space for any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. So looking at the box score, first for the O'Gorman Knights, they were led tonight by Noon Dutt. He had 17 points, Noon Dutt with 17 points, but only 3 in the second half. Yeah, it was definitely a difference. We talked about that at halftime. They're going to have to find a way to stop his shooting from downtown. And I think he went 0 for 2, from downtown, and only went for at least 0 for 1 in the second half. And it was really Caleb Brooks was there. He's the one he had to kind of step up, and he wasn't really in his face as much in the first half, and I'm sure Coach Saber said, look, you got to not slack off so much. You got to put a hand in his face, force him to either dish the ball off, drive the lane, get some help, do something with that, and I think that was really one of the big factors. So Noon Dutt with 17 points, 12 each for Rylan Satter and Hayden Gross, 11 for Caleb Turbine, who got the starting nod tonight, and then also 2 points each for Jackson Bjorkman and Mason Clark. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, Daylor Segrist led 3 players in double figures. Segrist with 23 points tonight. He knocked down 5 3-pointers, went 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 12 points each for Minka Holly and Shunzi Whitewoman. 9 points for Caleb Brooks to go along with 7 rebounds on the night. 4 points for Ashton Paulson, all from the free throw line, and 3 points for J.D. Green. For the game, the Raiders connected on 8 3-pointers in the contest, while the O'Gorman Knights, they connected on 10 threes in this ball game. That crazy, 10 threes, 18 3-pointers between the teams. Yeah, they shot a lot, but still only 32%, which is a pretty good night. But unfortunately, when your opposition is shooting 57%, it's just not good enough. So for the Raiders now, this, a big game, but also prepares them to take on Brandon Valley. Brandon Valley was not ranked in this week's rankings in that top 5. They did receive some votes, but nonetheless, should be another challenge for the Raiders, but they have to feel good riding a 5-game win streak into tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, absolutely. Just, again, they shot well tonight. Teams don't usually shoot well throughout the year. Now, this is probably one of the better shooting nights for them, so they're going to have to come back hard tomorrow. What they can't do, they can't sit there and rest on the laurels and think that they're just going to shoot that well tomorrow. They might. They need to come out and shoot the ball. They need to not change things, but to do that 2 nights in a row, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. They're going to have to, rely more on their defense and just see if they can work the ball and get Shunzi to do a lot more work down low. He did a great job tonight. I thought Shunzi did. He wasn't in that Cobbler game. He fouled a lot early on and sat a lot, so we didn't call his name a lot. But what a difference maker he is in here when they were working it in, and he just did a lot of work down for that. And you like it. It just changes the aspect for the Raiders, and it just adds another piece of the puzzle.
So the Raiders get the win. They're 10-4 on the season as they defeat O'Gorman 63-56. Let's take a look at our highlight of the game. Today's highlight of the game is brought to us by Highmark Credit Union. Did you know that Highmark Credit Union was started as Rapid City Teachers Federal Credit Union over 80 years ago in what was known as Rapid City High School? Highmark is proud to support education and our local schools. With a full range of consumer products and commercial lending services, Highmark now serves thousands of area members in western South Dakota. Consider joining Highmark. We'll make it happen. That's highmarkfcu.com, and this is tonight's highlight of the game. Here's Tyler Portlock in the front court, dribbles to the right side in front of the O'Gorman bench, hands the ball to Segrist, down low to Whitewoman. Whitewoman backs his way in and banks it in for two. And the Raiders have the lead, and Holly gets the steal and the dunk.
And the crowd is going nuts right now. Obviously, Minka Holly, love his hands, love his steal, love the finish. 15-12, the Raiders by 3.
So again, that was our highlight of the game, being brought to us by Highmark Credit Union. Again, visit them at highmarkfcu.com. Looking at today's player of the game, sponsored by Claiborne Los and Sabres. Whether it's divorce, injury, or a business dispute, when you need someone to step up for you, the law office of Claiborne Los and Sabres is always ready. Just Google Claiborne Los and Sabres in Rapid City. So, Dean, lots to choose from tonight for the Raiders.
This was a very hard decision tonight. I talked about Shunzi and what a factor he makes, just his presence in the game, his 12 points. He just fights down low so hard. It just works so well underneath. And I really, really, really wanted to give it to Minka Holly. 7 blocks tonight. Those were crowd pleasers right there. Just obviously the dunk on the highlight of the game that we had there as well. 12 points, a lot that he did. But tonight it was really about scoring. It was. The bottom line was the Raiders just literally. I mean, I know I don't mean to sound like John Madden or anything, but the idea is to get more points than the other team. But it was shooting the ball from downtown was really the big factor. 5 of 8 from downtown for Daylor Segrist, finishing with 23 points. So I'm sorry, Minka. I'm sorry. Your 7 block night. I got to give it to Daylor. So Daylor Segrist, our player of the game, being brought to you by Claiborne Los and Sabres in Rapid City. So real quickly, we'll set the scene for tomorrow. We are going to travel over to Central High School. It's going to be a busy time over there with the final day of the stock show. But, of course, high school basketball action tomorrow. We'll have a doubleheader once again as O'Gorman travels across town to take on the Rapid City Central Cobblers. The girls' game at 12:30, the boys' game at 2. So we'll have our pregame show at about 12:15 then tomorrow afternoon. Now, of course, in the first game, the Lady Cobblers taking on a very tough team that we saw tonight, the number 1 ranked and undefeated O'Gorman Knights. They will be tough to slow down, and I don't know. I don't know what team can do it. Yeah, I agree, and I'm sure there are some teams, especially in the Sioux Falls area, it's got a lot of talent to do that. T area did a great job against them, but unfortunately couldn't get the win out there. But we're going to see zone on zone. Both teams are going to press zone, so who can take care of the basketball might be the biggest key tomorrow night. I mean, to get foreshadow what maybe our keys to the game tomorrow afternoon will be, but it's zone on zone, and who's going to do it? And obviously, when the Knights decide to turn it on and get hot, they do, and like you said, they are very tough to stop it when they do that. So a lot of pressure going to go on. Right now, the momentum after the amazing win for the Central Cobblers against the Raiders last Friday night, they have dropped 2 straight, and they're just heading in the wrong direction. We were shouting their praises a week ago tonight, and now all of a sudden we're like, what's going on? Now they're kind of regressing back to what they were in the first part of the season. So hopefully they can come out and give a big showing tomorrow and compete against these O'Gorman Knights. The Lady Cobblers lose tonight. They're now 5-8 on the season. The second game will be the boys' game, obviously, and as the Cobblers, try to put together a good game plan to take on this O'Gorman Knights team, who also wants to bounce back. Yeah, they definitely are, and to be honest, the Cobblers are just going to have to play lights out. They're going to have to they're going to have to work their tails off to play a massive defense to keep up with these O'Gorman Knights. They are talented. We saw that tonight. They can shoot the ball at times when they need to. They rebound so well. They are physical. They are athletic. They are an overwhelming match, I think, for the Cobblers. So the Cobblers are they're going to have to step up and just play out of their shorts tomorrow. And again, those games tomorrow, 12:30 and 2 o'clock. So 12:30 the girls' game, 2 o'clock the boys' game. We'll have our pregame show at about 12:15 or so, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And we hope you can join us then. Real quickly, some scores to pass along in girls basketball. Again, the finals tonight in AA, it was Spearfish over Huron in girls, 55-39. Also, Mitchell over Sturgis Brown, 50-35. And like we said from earlier, Brandon Valley over Rapid City Central by 9, 51-42. In boys basketball tonight, Pierre defeats Yankton 61-34. It was Brandon Valley over Rapid City Central, 63-29. The last score we had at halftime, Huron over Spearfish, 26-23. And as they start the fourth quarter, it's number 1 Mitchell all over Sturgis, 61-33 is your score. So again, that'll wrap up our Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Like we always do, a big shout-out and thank you to Matt Kearney for the Kearney Files. We wouldn't know some of this information with everything that he does. We greatly appreciate, and of course, putting us on the air each and every broadcast. So, Matt Kearney, a big thanks to you as well. And like we said, that'll wrap up our Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Real quickly from earlier, in the first game tonight, O'Gorman defeats Rapid City Stevens in girls, 47-35 was the final. And in the boys' game, Rapid City Stevens, for the first time since 2018, Rapid City Stevens defeats O'Gorman 63-56 is your final. Again, this has been high school basketball action on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, also on GoRaidersLive.com. For Dean Gurr, I'm Jerome Wickersham, and for Matt Kearney back at the studio, have a great rest of your night. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more basketball action on Fox Sports Rapid City. Have a great night, everyone.